Are you not just a little bit embarrassed? You care what they think of you? You know, there's times in life where you have to realize that not everyone is going to like you. You can become a doormat, and I know this because I have been a doormat before. You can be the wizard Liz said this one time. She said, "You can lay as flat as possible and be a doormat, right? And people will still complain because you are not flat enough." So, this video today is about haters and how to deal with them. So, personally, I hate this term. I use it as an umbrella term because most people use this to talk about people who do not like them or people who spread gossip about them, and that is kind of the target audience I'm trying to reach here. People who care too much about what people who don't like them say. The first thing I want you guys to know while we're talking about this is that nobody really knows you. Particularly, your haters do not know you. They have a perception of you based on the experiences that you have shared with them. And obviously, that is a negative perception, but what is somebody's perception when you really know yourself? And I have been a slave to other people, and I have done literally everything in my power to try to get other people to like me. Because I was so concerned with what everybody's perception of me was. Now, I'm happy to say that this isn't the case anymore because I have a strong sense of self, and, you know, I'm the only person who has shared every experience I've had with me. And I know my morals, I know how I want to act, the type of friends I want to have, etc. They do not know you. Put simply, their perception of you is wrong. And as a confident person, you know that their perception of you is skewed. And although they have negative feelings towards you, there's nothing you can do about it. You could do everything in your power to try to get these people to change their mind, and it still probably wouldn't work. Number two, there is no need to try to duck down to these people's levels. I want you to think for a second. If a person is spending a good chunk of their time and energy, and our time is very limited, as I mentioned in my last video, it's very important how we decide to allocate our time. If they are spending this good chunk of their time talking about you, talking about the things that you do, the things that have happened in the past, gossiping, spreading rumors, all this kind of stuff. If they are so occupied with you, do you really think that they're happy? I feel like a happy person would not spend a good chunk of their time trying to bring someone else or multiple other people down. Lowering your vibration to be in that negative energy all the time, a confident person would not feel the need to do that. So that's the obvious haters. These people obviously state to you, I don't like you. They talk about how they don't like you. You know. But there's another kind of hater. There are types of people who will pretend to be your friend, pretend to like you just to be close to you, but the entire time actually be preying on your downfall. So if you, for example, if you're wondering, do I have a friend that's actually out to get me? One of the best ways to tell is just really listen to the things that they say to you. A lot of times these people will make very like passive aggressive comments. They'll never like really be like rude to you, but they will say things that are like double sided. This person that you're talking to is so cute, like, I wish I could talk to them. If you tell your friend an accomplishment you've made and they try to one up you or try to tell you something they've accomplished that's far better, or if you have a love interest and all of a sudden they are interested in them as well, especially if that happens multiple times, but regardless. There's so many things that it could be, but it's basically just them kind of complimenting you, but then either downplaying it or twisting it around to make it not as good. Real friends will often be like, yeah, that's amazing. Like, I'm so happy for you. And there won't be competition. So, yeah, that's really the main thing. If your friend hates you, they're probably trying to compete with you, and it will show up in all areas of your life. Real friends don't compete with each other. On that note, confident people don't compete with anyone except themselves. And again, going back to the wizard Liz, she said that the only person that a confident person is trying to be better than is the person that they were yesterday. And that really stuck with me. Every day I wake up and I literally try to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. I always want to improve. I always want to keep growing and evolving and changing. I mean, that's what we're meant to do. Um, that's what we're meant to do on this earth. We are meant to continue to evolve and change. Always. I mean, seriously, always until we're dead. Real friends and real supportive people, they just try to bring each other up. Also, referring to what I said earlier about being a confident person, the main key to being a confident person is knowing yourself. And a lot of people fill their brains with so much like social media and stuff that they just like don't really know who they are anymore because they're ingesting so much media of so many like various different kinds of people. Another big thing is getting a therapist. And I know that therapy is like a really scary word for a lot of people, but I shit you not, like therapy saved my life. And it has saved countless other lives too. Um, and you know, a lot of people to that say, "Oh, why should I go talk to a stranger? Like that's stupid. I could just not." Which you're right. They are a stranger, but what you're failing to realize is that they are a stranger who has been educated for many, many, many years about, first of all, mental disorders, second of all, trauma, which is a real big one that a lot of people don't ever deal with, and it literally comes out in all aspects of your life because your body stores trauma. But regardless, um, are just things that it's difficult to have knowledge about if you weren't formally educated about them intentionally. So that is why therapy is so useful for one reason. For two, you have an unbiased opinion about your situation if you believe you are in a bad one. I tried therapy in high school. I did not like my therapist. I quit. I was like, this is a scam. I'm sick. She literally diagnosed me with what I already knew I had. And then I was like, okay, cool. I don't like you. And then I dropped her. Now, the therapist I have now, I have been seeing for just over a year. And the entire reason that I started seeking therapy was because I was in an emotionally abusive relationship. And I'll touch more on abusive relationships as well as the addiction to abusive relationships in a future video. I literally just wanted someone to tell me that I was not crazy. My therapist, of course, being trained as she is and being an unbiased figure, confirmed everything I already knew. And that was just so eye opening for me because I have always in my life had a really hard time breaking up with people, even when I knew they were really, really bad for me, because I wanted to be a doormat. I wanted them to like me. And it wasn't that I wanted everyone to like me, but it's another case of being a doormat, okay? It doesn't matter how nice you are to someone. It doesn't matter how much you love them. It doesn't matter how good you are to them. If they are an abuser, they will abuse you. A plus B equals C, people. It's not hard. So I went to therapy because I needed her to confirm it. She confirmed it, and I had the strength to leave that person. This past year has really been one of reflection and one of learning because though I have been in more abusive relationships than the one I was in, that is the only one that I have ever had the strength to leave. My point is, therapy is good. No matter how you look at it, there are so many accessible options online if you don't feel like going in person. I could not recommend it more. So, for example, if you have someone who hates you, being like, oh, well, she acted this way in this situation, and I would have done it this way, this way, and this way. Why do you care? Like, literally, why do you care? Were they there? No? Oh, man, that's so crazy, right? How they weren't there. And they're talking about a situation they have no place talking about because they have no idea of everything going on in it. They've heard bits and pieces and they've decided in their brain that they know everything. And not only do they know everything about that situation you were in, they also know how to handle it better. They know how to do it better than you. You know why? Because they just know that much. There is a difference between constructive criticism and blatantly being rude to someone and speaking on something that you know nothing about. And it's often very obvious which of the two is happening. I'm not saying don't take constructive criticism because nobody's perfect. If you think someone's perfect, that's your perception of them. Like I just said, we're all human, we all make mistakes. When someone is giving you constructive criticism, they're actually like trying to help you. And it's usually very obvious because nothing they say is pointed, and everything comes from a genuine place of concern for you. And for someone to be genuinely concerned about you, they have to like you. If someone doesn't like you, do you think they really care if you do well? Obviously not, right? If a person doesn't like you, it's obvious they don't want you to do well. So then constructive criticism is given in the hopes that someone will do better. So this type of criticism can only be given from real friends that you have, or loved ones, or family members. So if a hater says, "Oh, I'm just trying to give you constructive criticism," that is not true, and you should not take it to heart. For some people, their haters are also considered just people who have done wrong by them. Because they are people who have done wrong by them, they will like look at their social media accounts. I don't even know. Like what Here's my question. If you're looking at your like haters um like Instagram or oh my god, I totally blanked. Like TikTok or Facebook or I guess Snapchat, but that's not really, you don't really post on there. Tell me, what exactly are you there for? What are you searching for? If you're doing this, you clearly care about what this person thinks. Not only do you care what this person thinks of you, you care about what's going on in their life. Like, come on, guys. We all know social media is so fabricated and fake. The person can post one thing and have a completely different reality. People post, every one of us posts what we want other people to perceive from us. I don't know. Why would you want to perceive them, first of all? Second of all, that perception, online especially, is entirely fake. And three, because they're a hater, they don't know you. And you know what that means? You also don't know them. You don't know their life. You don't know what they do every day. You don't know the ins and outs. You don't know what they think about when they fall asleep at night. Like, you do not know this person. And let me tell you, trying to look at their social media and constantly like watch them not only is weird, but also it's not going to do anything. It's not going to change anything, and it's not going to fill that void that you're trying to fill up. So why feed into it? Because baby, if you're doing that, you are actively letting them ruin your mood. You're letting them bring your energy down to a place that I feel like we both know it shouldn't be at because you usually vibrate at a way higher energy. So why would you give this person your energy and your time? Two of the most important things that we have as human beings. There is no reason. That's the answer. This is an intermission for everyone to look at Mango. She was asleep. But I spun around and kind of woke her. Aww. Just to kind of tie it all together in a big old bow for you guys. One of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is because throughout my life I've been the kind of person who really, really cares what everyone thinks. Not just the people who like me, also the people who really don't like me, and the people who have done wrong by me. I'm really starting to tie together that it doesn't matter. None of that matters because at the end of the day, a couple of people who don't like you is never going to diminish your actual character. Because you're going to meet so many other people. There's literally 8 billion of us, guys. Come on. Pretty much all of my life since I was conscious, which I don't know if you guys like think of an age when you think, oh, I was conscious. But me and my roommate love to say that. Like, so for me, the age that I started like really remembering things, but not only remembering, also like being fully aware of the decisions I was making was 11. I've always wanted to do YouTube. I mean, seriously. And the thing that has stopped me all of my life was like, oh, what if people don't like it? Come on. Of course, some people aren't gonna like it. There is not a single thing in this world that every person on this planet likes. There's gonna be people that like it, and there's gonna be people that don't. It is what it is. And guess what? I want to post. I want to post to YouTube. I like recording content. I like editing content. I love the whole thing. Like guys, I literally recorded this entire playthrough of Danganronpa 2. Do not talk about it. But it was like hours and hours of footage. Like I hadn't even seen it be played because I found Danganronpa 1 during quarantine, right? Like 2020, and I watched like a playthrough and I was like, oh my god, that's so good. I gotta play the second one. And I recorded an entire playthrough of me voicing all of the characters and all this extra shit, right? I never posted it. It's still in my hard drive on my computer because I was so worried about what people were gonna think. Like, oh, it's embarrassing. Like, I'm doing the voices. People are gonna make fun of me. Of course, people are gonna make fun of you if you're doing something like this. And guess what? People who make fun of you for posting videos on YouTube or content on Instagram or just posting things that you like doing or promoting like a song you made or all this stuff, right? The only people who are going to hate on you are people who are too scared to do it themselves. Are people who are not confident enough in themselves to do what you are doing. We can all just do what we love and coexist, believe it or not. But a person who tries to bring you down for doing something you enjoy is insecure in themselves and they are projecting that onto you. And that is a hater. And why would you care what that person thinks? They are obviously insecure in themselves. It is not worth your time or your energy. And our time on this planet is extremely limited. There are people that I grew up with who are no longer alive. I am only 20 years old. That blows my mind because no tomorrow is guaranteed. So if there is something that you guys love, and there is something that you have a passion for inside of you, please, please, please do it. I do not care what other people think. You should not care what other people think because you could die tomorrow. And I want you to think, if you did die tomorrow, what would you regret not doing in your life? What would you have done differently if you knew that your time was so soon? Probably everything you're way too scared to do right now. But what are you scared of? People's opinions? Their opinions can't do anything to you unless you allow it to. They cannot stop you because you are in control of your time and your energy. It is such a sad sight to see when people don't do the things they love because of what other people think. And I do not want to see a single other one of you guys not pursue your passion because of other people's opinions or haters' opinions. There's always going to be people who don't like you. You could be the nicest person, you could never do what you love. You could literally try to be the most like square-shaped human being alive, and there would still be people who don't like you. So what exactly do you have to lose? Tell me. And I guess the last thing I wanted to touch on is that if you have like a hater or a person in your life who is like just jealous of you and like really envious of certain things you have, there's a number of things. But if you have a person in your life who is jealous of you, it is probably because they are lacking something in their own life. And this is the same case for if you are feeling jealous of someone. I recommend that you really like sit with that feeling and because when you're jealous of someone, you're literally saying like, I'm not good enough. Like this person is. I'm so jealous of them. Blah blah blah. Um, that don't even make sense. Like honestly, it just really it does not check out. Um, so when you're jealous of someone, you need to think to yourself like, what in this person do I feel like I'm lacking? Because that's all it ever is. If you are jealous of someone, you think that you are lacking in something they have, and the quicker you're honest with yourself about it, the quicker you can focus on your own life and work on yourself. And then at some point, I'm sure the jealousy will leave because you will have sufficed that thing within yourself. But in any case, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something, and I love every single one of you. See you in the next one. Bye bye.